What you doing, man? What are you bringing out right now?
Adrien Soriano. Oh, Primal Fear. Hanging with me on the podcast.
There we go. Remix.
Yeah. Well, what I would normally do when every single episode was like in person and live, I would just hand the drum to the guest and have them do it.
For
the beginning.
So dope.
But now I've been so accustomed to playing the drums right in the beginning. Anyway, hello.
What's up, man?
Well, want to before anything else, just make sure I state how grateful I am for your time and how welcome and how safe I hope you feel. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a while because you and me, we got kind of a cool relationship. I like every time we're around each other, I always just have fun chatting with you.
Yeah, we cross paths.
Yes.
Every now and then. I also want to say that I'm grateful and thankful and appreciative for bringing me on to this show and for being guest on episode 260.
Yeah.
So, let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, you were on a very high priority list. There was 260 other people who I thought it was more important to have a conversation with. I'm just playing. No, man, but what I really been curious about, and I know, like, you've probably done tons of podcasts. Like, you've probably been interviewed tons about.
We done a few.
Right.
Maybe a handful. Don't want to say I've done many, but
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, most podcasts are going to ask you almost like you're going to have like the Rolodex of questions you're absolutely going to be answering.
Yeah.
From the start.
Yeah.
For me, because, like, of course, like, blah, blah, how'd you get started in wrestling? I don't really care. Not one bit.
Right.
Not one bit.
Yeah, who does anyway, right? Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about the struggles. They just want to hear about your successes.
Right.
They only care when you make it, when you made it. That's what matters.
What I'm wondering about, what I want to know about is, like, more about your life's journey. Like, what kind of family life did you have growing up? Did you have siblings? Did you have both parents? What was that like? And if we can get a little glimpse into that clean window.
Yeah, man. I've been fortunate enough to grow up with both of my parents in my life. They were married for, I think, about 18 years. They did split up when I was older. But yeah, one brother, one sister, and I love my family to death. They are the reason why I do what I do. I want to give them the world and so much more because they're always there for me.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody loves me the way that they do. We all love each other unconditionally. And I wouldn't want to have it any other way, man. I feel like I'm very blessed and fortunate to have them in my life. I wouldn't be where I am today without them.
What's the age difference in your siblings?
We're all a year apart. I'm the oldest. It's a trio.
Okay.
It's me, I have my sister and my younger brother. We're all a year apart.
Did they mess around with the idea of wishing they could be in the squared circle like us?
My brother hopped into it for a little bit, I think a few months, and then he tapped out.
Yeah.
But it was cool for the little time that he was in there, like, doing things with little brother. There's a lot of, like, brothers in the wrestling business. So, there was always that, but to each its own.
I always
picture everyone.
I always picture, like, that kind of, like, brotherhood family sort of in wrestling, but none of my siblings ever have any. I'm the only one in my family who's ever even, like, talked about wrestling. No one even.
Yo, you know who you could pull off being a brother tag team with? I don't know if anyone's ever said it to you, but, like, me looking at you right now through the screen, you know who you look like a little bit?
Who's that?
Chris Hero.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever gotten that?
Never.
It's just the hair and like the beard you got going on. It's kind of what he's been rocking lately. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
you guys can definitely pull that off.
I'm pretty certain he doesn't like me.
Really?
Yeah, we go back pretty far. I'm pretty certain he doesn't
Oh,
like me.
okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I don't know why, but I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I've
mostly
only
like,
met him a few times.
yeah. I mean, when I first met him, I thought he was super cool, and this is going back. You know, I'm an old fart, and he's a little older of a fart than me. I think I probably met him in like 2004, something like that. He was super
Okay.
back then, and then a couple years later, he like got a little something, and it just it just I didn't feel like he
Yeah,
liked me
shit
anymore.
happens.
Yeah, I don't know why,
Things
but
happen. Are we
yeah,
allowed to curse on here?
yeah, dude. Say whatever the heck you want, man.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, bro?
I just turned 38.
30? Damn, bro, you don't fucking look 38 at all.
Thanks, man.
You look very young for your age. That's pretty cool.
Thanks, man.
Now that like, how does it feel, being like to be 38? Like, how is life in your 30s? Because I will be turning 30 in April, and like mentally, I don't know if I'm ready for 30.
man, you know what I wanted to do, man. I think I've a lot of times I'll give guests the opportunity, because for me it's really super important for me to let you know how important it is, how important and how much it means to me that you decided to pay me the currency of your effort by coming on here and hanging with me. Whether or not anyone ever cares about it or listens to it or it gets any hundreds or millions of views, that part doesn't matter to me at all. The fact that we've decided to interact as humans and kind of put our devices down for a minute, because like a lot of times, dude, that's all we're ever doing is just staring at our phones. I'm just as guilty as it. But I'll give the opportunity to the guest for you to ask me anything you want, or to tell me anything you want to tell me, based off of our previous interactions or whatever questions you've ever wondered or anything like that. So
I'm just asking you questions based off of the conversation that we're having so far. Like,
So being in my 30s, man, honestly, I'll have to say, it's barely any different. It's barely any different. It's like it's like, oh, what's it like being in your 20s versus being in your teens? It's like, the adjustments happen in real time, so you don't like really go, wow, everything's different. Things have changed so much, because it's all happening while it's happening. So kind of like when you see somebody you haven't seen in a long time and you're like, wow, they look way older since the last time I saw them. It's like life continues to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And you know how it is, man. Yeah. Especially like since this is my last year in my 20s, like now, I've only been in the pro wrestling business for 6 years, but once I hit that 30, and then you tell people that you're 30, they're like, oh, you're old, the time's running out, and you're like,
what?
I
think that we'd feel different having seen people be the exceptions, and like, having Lou like be the exception right in front of your face. Like they just said like, oh, well, or Damian Priest, like, they just said, oh, well, if you're over 33, you're probably not getting there. And then he's like, what was he, 36 when he made it?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Around that age. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, there's an exception to it all. There's a lid for every jar kind of thing. So like, when you look at and I'll look at it pretty often and be like, there are so many wrestlers and so few jobs. There's so few wrestlers and so few jobs, but none of those wrestlers are me. None of those wrestlers are you. None of them.
Right.
So I think that's a mindset that works for me. I don't walk around with delusions like, oh, WWE is going to call me up. That doesn't happen because I mean, one, I'm 38 and I have a history of brain injuries, so that's also a huge. Nah, stay away from this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, like I never gotten into the business with per se a goal. Like me and Matt Toro, my tag team partner, we kind of got in together. I never really knew what his goal in pro wrestling was, but I got into it just to like be able to do something with my friends because we were, I don't know if we were like a band before we started wrestling. I played bass guitar. Matt was a guitarist. Yeah, we were
was Gabe in the band too?
Nah, he wasn't. But our original third member of Primal Fear was, but then he stopped wrestling.
Okay.
And then that's when Gabe come in. But yeah, but I never had per se a goal in pro wrestling. I kind of just started it and I kind of just went. I was just like, man, if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do my best, and whatever happens, happens. And with that mindset and like the work ethic that I had, like opportunities kind of just arose themselves. And like whenever the opportunity rose, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go for it. And I feel like in the 6 years that I have been wrestling, I've had a lot of great opportunities, and I'm just looking to like keep that going until I feel as though I can't do it anymore, or see what else is there,
Yeah. Well, like a big thing that I will look at it in and kind of zoom out of it a little bit and be like, well, as much as I could be somebody who goes, this business never have given me anything. I'm owed something. I'm owed nothing. I'm owed nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that everything I've ever done in the wrestling business has lent to me being the type of person I am right now, who I am absolutely in love with. I just really can't picture myself being anybody but the person I am right now, except for being a better version and a more evolved version of the version of me that I am right now. And I owe a lot of that to the wrestling business. I owe a lot of like any other thing I've ever done. I've used the experiences that I've had in wrestling to relate in any of those things to be better at those things. So I mean, monetarily, wrestling hasn't been super kind to me, but as far as sentimentally, yes, it has fueled my inner spirit,
Yeah, pro wrestling and like the real world go hand to hand, bro. It's literally the same exact thing. You get in, or you get what you get depending on what you put in.
Yeah.
So like if you put in, if you sacrifice, put in your effort, put in the time, put in, like fully like dedicate yourself to it and like literally do everything in your power to try to get what you want, it will come to you. And that's the same for life. Like if you just go through the motions and like, and you just sit there and like expect for things to come, like it's never going to happen. So it's literally the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I teach like the students, because I'm one of the trainers at Super Crazy in Deptford, New Jersey, Skid Row Academy. And I stress to them the same exact thing. Like if you just walk through life with like no intentions, which is okay. Like, not everyone's going to know what they want to do in life or whatever, but like, even like at your job or like anything, like you have to like do it, because if not, it's not going to happen for you. Like you can only do it for yourself,
There's a thing that I've been saying forever that I think it could be helpful for you to use it on the students, because the thing is, I always say how many people just kind of like cruise through life and observe what's going on and just kind of react. This happened, so I had to this. This happened, so I had to this. And there was never I made this happen, so this kept happening.
Right, exactly.
So that was the path I called the path of the deliberate creator. The deliberate creator, the same thing like you said. You get out of it what you put into it. And if you put into it complaints and negativity, you're going to get back more stuff to complain about.
Right. Like, there's just me getting a little bit deeper into it, you know, like I was at the factory for a few years, and like it's great. Like the factory is very, very good school. It's very great, like starter school for anyone. And I've been fortunate enough to go in when there were trainers like Louis, like Damian Priest, QT Marshall, Blue Meanie was there, William Wild, like a lot of great trainers.
Mm.
And like you, what I'm trying to say is you can't just expect to like get somewhere by staying in one spot. Like you have to like get out there and expand, and you have to like be like you like pretty much see the world, put yourself in different places for different people to see you, for different things to happen. Because if you do the same thing, you know, that one quote that they say, if you keep doing the same, like keep doing the same thing expecting a different result, like you're crazy or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote, but
the definition of insanity is repeating the
yeah,
same behavior expecting a different result.
right, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, but I'm saying like once I got out of there and I was able to expand, that's like so many, like I was able to grow not only as a professional wrestler but as a person as well, because I was able to experience so much. And I know a lot of guys that like stay in the same spot, and then they end up becoming miserable, hating themselves, hating the business because nothing's happening. When like you just want to tell them like it's because you're not really doing anything about it, you
Well,
know?
another thing that I say pretty often that I think you would get a kick out of, and people listening or watching have probably heard me say it a billion times, but I have this game show wheel, this picture of a game show wheel inside of my head, right? So think about Wheel of Fortune, right? That big wheel that they spin. I have a game show wheel in my head called the accountability wheel, right? So all the prizes and all the prizes are replaced with stuff you can blame. And like the bankruptcy or like the big prize that's always like the thinnest one. The thinnest one actually has your name on it. So all the stuff you can blame, you spin it and spin it and spin it until it lands on your name, because you've got to be accountable to all the things that you've ever done and all of your problems. The common denominator in your problems has always been you.
Right. Because hey man, you're your own master. You're your own like dictator. You are the driver to your own like car. Like no one else is gonna drive you to your destination except for yourself. Sure, people may help you point, like you can stop, ask for directions. People will tell you how to get there, but at the end of the day, you're the one who's gonna have to get yourself there.
Right. So I know you're super multifaceted, man, and I just kind of want to unbox that a little bit, because like did you I know you said you were in a band. Was Primal Fear the band?
Primal Fear was not the band.
Okay.
The band was called, we had two names. First we were Cast Down, and then it became Born from Kings. But we pretty much played heavy metal. It was heavy metal. We were like influenced from like, I don't know if you heard any of these bands, but like Mastodon, like Coheed and Cambria. Okay. But then like later on, like we've only been together for 2 years, but in that short amount of time, like we started getting heavier. So we started grabbing influences from bands like Meshuggah, you know, Slayer, that kind of stuff. It was pretty cool, man. I really like do miss sometimes. It was really, really fun.
You still play?
I still have 4 of my bases, but they're just collecting dust right now.
Okay, so you don't still play?
No.
Well, like, I'd say for our like similar to like our mutual friend Lucas. The thing, as I'm saying, yes, like the fact that he's doing all the wrestling stuff and still has so much time for that other creative endeavor.
Right.
That's
listen, man. As much as like, you know, we want to like be multifaceted or whatever, if the time you sacrifice for one thing, you have to remember that it's taking away time from something else. So you just got to prioritize, you know?
Yeah. I I stay spinning. I stay spinning like 10 plates at a time.
Yeah, me too. And I'm dropping them all the time. Trying to pick up the broken pieces.
Yeah, man. It's like, you know, it's also a better, I think that's a better practice in like seeing what results you enjoy the most.
Right.
You know, so it can like orient your focus, you know?
Yeah, because sometimes you hear like, oh, do just be really, really good at one thing, and like that one thing will get you because you must love whatever that one thing is. So, but I don't know, man.
I
I
don't,
enjoy doing like many other things. So
yeah, man. I don't want to live with those limits on me. Like,
I don't want to feel like I'm obsessed over just one thing. Like I enjoy doing like many things.
mhm. Yeah, I want to do so much while I've got the life in my lungs to do it. You know, I got the air in my
Right,
lungs.
exactly.
I got the life in my brain that's going to fuel me to doing those things too. So
Right.
I don't want to say can't. I don't want to say can't is limiting. I want to taste as many delights in life as I can.
For sure.
And you know, I told you about the gym that I work at, right?
Yeah, and you said in near like burger school, right? In
Yeah,
Bristol?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're like the woman. She was talking to me about like gym sales, and she was like, read this book. Read this book. She gave me this book to read, and it's called The One Thing, and it's really about focusing a singular focus. And I'm like, yeah, you can't limit me like that. I don't appreciate it. But like, I don't.
But what was her reason for giving you that
Oh,
book?
so that I'd be better at selling memberships at the gym.
Ah,
So I guess it worked for her, but I mean that what works for you doesn't always work for somebody else.
right. What do you man, it sounds like a Planet Fitness type of rule, like trying to sell memberships or
Oh
whatever.
no, way more mom and pop than that. Absolutely.
Okay. Is that a busy gym that you work at? Like a lot of people go there?
No.
No? Is it a
No.
decent gym to work out at?
It's an awesome gym to work. It's my favorite gym I've ever been to. It's actually one of my favorite places that I ever go to.
Okay.
But
Yeah, because I've kept in mind what you like told me about visiting the gym. I just haven't been in the area
right.
to.
Well, next time you do, what nights are you training up at Westville, or what is it, Deptford? Where is that?
Yeah, Deptford. I'm up there Mondays and Thursdays
Okay, all
from
right,
6 to 8. I'm there.
cool.
I doubt the gym's 24 hours.
What, my gym?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got a key. I work there, so it's 24 hours for
Oh,
me.
okay.
It's 24 hours
Okay.
for me. So,
Hey man, if you're one a late night stash, I'll be
yeah,
down.
shoot me a text,
Shit,
dude.
get it in.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
shoot me.
we'll get it in.
All right. But yeah,
Is that where you live? You live in that area
I
too?
live right by there. Yeah, I live right near here.
Okay.
Right near there.
All
Oh,
right.
I live here in this house that I'm in right now. This is where
Yeah,
I live.
same here.
But yeah, so explain to me like the kind of role models that you've had. I want to kind of understand. I want to understand what kind of motivated you to do the growth that you've done and the evolving that has happened, the life lessons and such, and maybe the struggles.
Yeah. I mean, as far as role models, the only people I've ever looked up to and are my parents, my father and my mother, because they've done nothing but like work their entire lives to make sure we were good. Like we never had to worry about not eating. Like there was always food. We've always had clothes. They were able to buy us the toys we wanted, video games that we wanted. Like, they took really good care of us. And I just wanted to like make them proud of me, you know. And I feel as though I've already accomplished that, but I still feel as though I still need to accomplish a lot more just to make up for everything that they've done for me. I feel like everything I've done so far still isn't enough for what they've done for me. If you know what I
I
mean.
absolutely know what you mean all the way. Because I always think, and I said it. I don't remember who I said it to, but I said I can't wait to make my mom proud of me. I can't wait to make my Aunt Tugger proud of me. And what makes you think they're not already proud now?
Right. Oh yeah,
Look at
like I
the man that you've become, and they got to be proud of
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
that's something I have that perpetual got to keep on growing, and then I want to get to a point where like all of the endeavors that I've really made efforts at that have paid off big, I can use those endeavors to pay off my mom's house, or
Yeah, exactly.
or like give all the health and all the care to my aunt that I wish that she'd have, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I just
her
feel the
limits
same
will be
way, man.
eliminated. The limits
Right.
will be eliminated, like where it's like, oh, if I only had the money to do this or something. So it's inside of what you said earlier about wanting to take care of them. That's how I feel. I
Hmm.
feel like, oh man, right now I'm just a waiter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm waiting tables, and I'm working part time at a gym, and I'm hosting podcasts, wrestling, and doing comedy. So
Oh yeah, that's your boy too, man. Serving. I was
spinning
serving
plates.
today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I serve at Applebee's here in Atlantic City.
Oh, I serve at Fridays in Langhorne.
Man, I want to go to a Friday so bad. There's just not one around here. There used to be, but they shut it down. And I'm like, man, I want to go to a Fridays. How
No,
is does it get like busy at a Fridays? So I know
sometimes.
like Applebee's is a little bit more popular, so they do be like, they get a little busier sometimes. So I want like, how does a Fridays compare? I'm
It
curious.
really depends. It's the day, you know what I mean? It's just like a roll of the dice,
Yeah.
It's
Like
sometimes
today
it's
we were pretty
crazy
busy
busy.
because we're right across the street from the convention center.
Mm.
So whenever there's a convention going on, that traffic comes right to the Applebee's, and
Well,
then
that's
we just get murdered.
the Fridays that I'm at, which I was trying to when I started working there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to mention Fridays as less as possible. Like I'm gonna maybe
Bro,
not even ever mention Fridays.
I never talk about Applebee's, but since you mentioned it, I was
Right.
like, you know
Yeah.
what, fuck it. Why
Right.
not? I'll throw it in
Right. We're here.
there.
So yeah, but like the same thing you said, the convention center, we're right next to Sesame Place. So when people go to Sesame Place, they come right to that Fridays to feed their brat kids.
Okay. Okay. Nah,
And
but yeah, like what you said, I never like talking about my shoot job. I always try to keep it incognito because it's something that I'm not passionate about. It's just something that we have to do, obviously, to pay the bills, make
keeps these
money.
lights on. Keeps these lights on.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the struggle and the grind right there. The stuff that nobody ever talks about.
Mm.
The stuff that nobody ever shares on social media. You just share the glam, the
Yeah,
glim and the glam, but
because the social media is like a billboard for what the best parts of our lives that we want to show you. Like
right.
we don't want to show you like had a slow night at Applebee's tonight. Walking out the door with $12 tonight. That's fine.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I have my phone on.
But
Do not.
but all in all, I fucking hate serving. That shit sucks.
I think okay. I started about 6 months ago. Right. I had never been a server
Okay,
before. I had never been a server
okay.
before. I only
What
started.
made you like switch to that or like get into that?
I've always kind of wanted to see how I do at it because I'm really good at talking to people, and I'm really good at
Uh-huh.
like I'm really good at customer service. So I wanted to see how I do with it and see like what the money would be like. And the money is good, but it's like my hours are so bad, and my focus has been for shit. My follow through has been for shit. My motivation has been for shit since I started it, because my I'm not passionate about this thing, and I think somehow it's pulling me into a like a muddy funk.
Okay. See, with I look at it like this. Like I the reason why I do like the job is because the hours are flexible, and that's been that's been my number one priority when it came to getting a job. Like, it has to be flexible, it has to work with my schedule, because
Mhm.
I know that whatever this job is, like, yeah, of course it's a priority because you have to, be there when it's your shift, but it's not priority as far as, like, the career, or, like, wherever
Right.
whatever you see
Yeah.
yourself in the future. But as of right now, like with the whole servant, like, man, it's just, when I'm not there, I don't think about it. But when I'm there, it's go time, because we make money off of the table. So, you got to flip the tables, whatever, try to get them in and out as quick as you can and try to make the bucks. But, it's just business when I'm there. And then when I'm done, I'm done. Like, I do not think about it. It's like my head goes,
Oh
I have
yeah.
other priorities now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do jokes with people
Sometimes
for
depends. I'm usually like,
trying to get some
I'm
tips?
kind of I'm kind of just like straight business, like,
All right.
if the table's cool, then, I may like bring out a little personality, but it's kind of straightforward for the most part.
Well, is it also like the clientele? Like, is it like a lot of is it a lot of like people in like shifty people in town at Atlantic City just trying
Oh
to
yeah.
do
Oh
do
yeah.
do some sinning?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I had a few tables walk out to come in, order a nice steak, getting some nice drinks. I step away for a few minutes, come back, not there anymore. I'm like, well, it is what it is. Not surprised.
That's getting away with that is the only sure thing that went their way there that night. They probably
And I was like, man, I'm about to start doing what this guy is doing.
right.
Get a
Yeah.
free meal.
I think places might start catching on.
Yeah, yeah, they should.
Well, like I
I
think
don't know.
what's also it's I think might be harder because you kind of stand out. You don't look like everybody else. There's absolutely like when
Yeah.
someone sees you, they don't see other people like you on their daily lives ever.
Hmm.
But that's
Yeah,
the
I get
same
that
thing about
sometimes.
same thing about like wrestling and podcasting and comedy. It's all like you, most of the people that you ever encounter won't know anything about them, don't care, and it's kind of humbling. You know what I mean? When it came to serving, and I don't ever talk about any of that stuff with anyone ever, ever, ever.
Right,
Like I
right.
just,
Well,
that that feels braggy or something. It's not. I don't.
yeah.
It's not.
You just don't care to talk about it,
Mhm, yeah.
because sometimes, like, it's not the highlight of your day, but
Right.
sometimes it might be because you might actually have had a good shift and, you were able to walk out with some money. So, like today, I worked from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and I walked out with $1.50. So, I mean, that's not bad
Yeah. Yeah.
for like a lunch shift.
Yeah. That was like my favorite selling point on the idea of being a server. I was like, oh well, maybe like it will be less living paycheck to paycheck when I walk out of the door with $100+ any night.
Right.
But
Yeah.
when you work at lunch shift and walk out with $12.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, it happens
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
But fuck serving. All in all, fuck serving.
Yeah.
but
It's
but
a means to everything, really.
if anyone is watching, or for anyone who does watch this, tip your servers, please.
Tip, be generous.
Yeah, tip your
We're in a
servers.
global pandemic. We're in a global pandemic. Most people don't want to work, so everywhere is understaffed. So being patient and being generous is utmost importance.
Right. Unless your server is rude, then don't tip 20%, but always tip. If they're really good, tip above 20%. You know, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, just tip your server. Be a nice person.
Yeah. Also, I think most people don't realize that servers make like $2 an hour. Like
Yeah,
the
it's
tips
rough.
are like the tips are like what we're surviving off of.
Yeah, we see no checks.
Dude, my paycheck, I got one paycheck that was for $0. Like it's in my bag. And I was like, "What did they give this to me?" Because I guess whatever the taxes were, like
Okay.
the taxes took all of what the money was. I'm surprised I never got a paycheck that was like, "Oh, you owe us 20 cents."
Oh, that'd be like, oh, well, don't know if I can do this anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm losing money now. I'm working and I'm losing money.
So, what do you? I know this is kind of a rough transition and not the best segue, but
Yeah, I know.
when it comes to losses that you've experienced, um, we've all lost some friends in this business, in the wrestling business. We've lost a lot of family members. Well, we maybe lucky enough to make it to a point in life where we've only lost a few. But when you think about that kind of stuff and you think about those people, where do you think they are?
This is a very good question. A question that I was not expecting at all. But honestly, man, I really don't know. I really don't know. You know, I like to make guesses and I like to have like uh like views and stuff. Like I just don't know. I just look at it like, man, I think we're all here to just learn. We're here to experience. Like I don't know. I don't know. Like a part of me feels as though like we're all here for a reason, a purpose, and we've we're able to like be, you know how they say like you're the one, I don't know what's the other word for this, but you're the one sperm that the egg chooses. Like you were one out of a million and you were able to like you're here experiencing life. So there has to be a reason for
Mhm.
everyone here. And maybe it's just a learning experience, we're all here like experiencing this like human experience, like prepping us for whatever the next phase is. But maybe that's only for those who like, you know what I'm trying to say?
What
Like
did you
learn whatever it is.
did you grow up in the church? Did your parents really raise you religiously at all?
Uh, my mom tried to,
Mm.
but I don't. I'm not religious at all. I don't like. I did go to Sunday school. I was raised Catholic. I've had my first Holy Communion, my first confirmation. But once that was over, I stopped going to Sunday school, stopped going to church. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I was also I was in Catholic school for like up until third grade, I believe I was in Catholic school till. So I never got to the confirmation, but I had my communion. But my grandmother was crazy Catholic, but I just I just couldn't stay with believing that this book written by people who weren't there. It's like once upon a time. Yep.
See,
Yep.
I've never read the Bible, but I heard it was just like a bunch of stories in there,
Yeah,
right?
like metaphorical stories and like it feels like It feels like what we now know as clickbait.
Yeah.
The Bible is
I don't know,
clickbait.
yeah. But I mean, but like, if that's what people like, if that's what makes people happy, then, like,
I
then
think
it's for them,
I
like,
think
I'm not here to judge
as,
anyone.
as a moral compass, and guiding you through this existence, if that's what you need, I think so many people uh, will minimalize all of this stuff, even though you go like there's so many people who need this stuff. People go through some hard struggles, and they rely so deeply on the words written in these books. uh,
Yeah.
they need that.
Hmm.
I can't take that away from them. They need that. But in my opinion, what I think, I don't care. Like, I'm just knowing that if I continue to be the type of person who I'd want to look up to if I wasn't me, is the very present nature that I'll grow through. That I'd hope that it's a whole new religion. It's called the Corey Castle nihilism. Castleism.
Castleism. I like it. So I'm curious to like hear what you think. Like, where do people go after they pass? Like, what do you think like the next chapter is?
Well,
Like, what's your philosophy or your idea?
it's been over 10 years now since I had my brain surgery, right? The
I did not know that.
So inside, when they sat me down and they showed me all this, like they showed me all the brain scans and stuff, and
Hmm.
they showed me like a live view of my brain going. There
Oh
was
wow.
there's this electricity inside my brain that was like keeping me alive. And to me, I went, that's what God is. That energy, that electricity is that energy is what's keeping me alive. That's God. I have a little bit of God in me. It's the same stuff that blows the winds through the trees and gives us oxygen.
Hmm.
And you have it in you, and he has it in him, and she has it in her, and they have it in them. That's uh, kind of what I feel happens as far as like what God and what religion is. I don't really think that's religion. I guess I'm kind of a Buddhist, but at the same time, not I'm not a huge fan of Buddhism because it's
Hmm.
worshiping people still. It goes back to
Hmm.
worshiping people and what people have done. And not everybody who's done a good thing has done exclusively good things. I mean, we're all humans. And as many good things as I've done, I've probably done an equal amount of really not good things.
Right.
So I think, the energy, there's a chemical that gets released in our brain called DMT, right?
Uh-huh.
You've heard of it?
Yeah.
It's a hallucinogenic that I think
Hmm.
when it gets released into our brains when we die, we go into like an infinite DMT trip. So we're not aware of the fact that we don't even really exist anymore. Like we're living in a timeless place. I
Yeah.
and I kind of think so when I think of let's say one of my best friends that I've ever had was this man named Aaron Gainey, right? Aaron Gainey was in the tag team called the Nigerian Nightmares,
Hmm.
and we would sit up at night and we would just talk all night about life and death, and we'd get super deep into stuff. And I think about all the lessons that he's taught me and all the memories that he gave me, and I go like that being with me is his spirit. That being with me is his I don't want to say his ghost, but I also am like he's somewhere else, but it's not a destination. It's not a destination. It's like a plane of existence.
Do you think what is it when reincarnation? Do you think that's a thing?
Yeah, yeah, probably. I mean, the the going back to that energy has to go somewhere. And the fact that this planet is as old as it is, and there's way more dead people than there is people that are alive. Where did that energy go? But
Mm,
also look up at the stars, man. Look up at the stars. Like, how vast is the universe? If
yeah, it's huge.
if all of that is for nothing at all, that's a huge waste of space. And why would a creator create such a big waste of space?
Hmm.
Was it? So I think I certainly think that reincarnation is an option. I I just brought this up the other day, but I don't know if you saw it. There's a movie called Defending Your Life.
Okay.
It's like from the early '90s. Uh, Look that movie up. I think you might enjoy it. You may enjoy it. It's this. It's a Albert Brooks. Albert Brooks is he played the voice of Nemo's dad in Finding Nemo. That's the only other
Okay.
thing. The only other thing you might know him from. But this movie was from like the real early '90s, and Meryl Streep was in it. He was like this businessman, and he just got this convertible, and it had a CD player, and everyone was like, "Oh, got a CD player in his car." And somehow the CDs dropped on the floor, and he went to go reach them, and he crashed into a bus, and he died. But then they show him like in this purgatory where he has to then go into this like super nice, well lit, bright area. And then it turned into like this courtroom where they would show you your worst acts and your best acts during your life, and you would have to defend it like you'd have a lawyer, and you'd have
Mm,
prosecutors and a jury.
that's so funny.
Yeah, it's I think going through, like, I think we're so privileged to have the ability to be able to picture things like that so clearly based off of like art and movies and stuff. People didn't grow up. The, maybe the Bible meant so much more to these people who had nothing else that could show them that another option might exist.
Right.
Maybe you think, uh, maybe that's why I based some of my beliefs and opinions off of some movies and TV shows and stuff I saw about the afterlife and things like that. I think I just said this on the last episode, but I think if anyone ever asked me back in the day what I believe happens when you die, I would actually say, this is an actual thing I would say. I'd say a combination of what you saw on Dogma and a combination of what you saw on Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey was like my actual belief of what happens to you when you die.
Okay.
I don't know if
You're gonna
I
have to
believe.
send me these. You're gonna have to send me these movies so I can watch them.
All right.
Yeah, just send me the list and I'll watch them all
I'll put the list in the description of the episode.
for sure. Yeah, anyone join the journey.
But I mean, that's not truly what I believe now. But it was a good.
No, but I'm
it was,
curious to
it
see
was a,
just because I haven't seen the movie, so I'm curious to see like what where your head's at, and like
you, you don't mess with Kevin Smith movies.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, like Jay and Silent
Uh,
Bob stuff.
uh, I've seen that one, Jane Silent Bob. Yeah.
The one movie was called Dogma, and it
Okay,
had
I
like
haven't seen that one.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were like these renegade angels who like they like were trying. They like made this plan to escape heaven or like get back into heaven or something like that. But it's definitely worth checking out. And it's directed by Kevin Smith. It's got Jay and Silent Bob. It's got like Jason Lee and Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Ivan Reichman is in it.
Yeah, I'm the worst, man. I'm the kind of guy who like, oh, have you seen this movie? I'm like, nah. Have you seen this movie? Nah. Have you seen this movie? Nah. Do you know this actor? No.
No, I would never judge anyone for that. And it's funny because
so
like lots of people will like listen to you and even me, like all the time, people will be like, oh, you never saw this? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh man. man.
Yeah,
Oh,
all the
like,
time.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. Ease back. Ease back on the shame,
I'm like,
buddy.
here we go. Here we go. I try not to do that to other people because I'm like, all right, you haven't seen it. Like, yo, check it out. You know.
Well, what about when people do that to you about like wrestling angles and matches and stuff? Does that ever?
No, it's usually the other way around.
What was
Especially,
it?
you know. No, go
What,
ahead. I'm sorry.
what was the main inspiration for you for wanting, like, what was like the main angle that you were like, okay, I'm getting in the business now?
Okay, maybe I didn't have that happen, but if we want to talk about like my favorite like angles and like favorite time, it was definitely like during like 02, 03, uh Monday Night Raw when like Triple H was the world heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
Because because I hated him so much. You know, I was a kid and I'm like, man, I hate Triple H so much. He's a rat bastard, you know, always doing the dirty shit, hanging with Ric Flair. That was when Evolution was running around.
Right.
And man, it was just the best because I was so invested into like that storyline and like everything that was going on at that time. It was just so good.
So what was like hey, I definitely know I have to do this. Like it's written on my bones that I need to be inside that ring.
I never had that. I
No?
never had that. No, the idea came when like I said earlier, my partner Matt Toro was like, hey, like we when we were in a band, our friendship was also based off of pro wrestling. So we would always get together and we would play like the old wrestling games. We would create ourselves as wrestlers and we would put ourselves in like the story mode, the universe, and create our own little, you know, thing, make ourselves the champion, wrestle each other. So like we've always had a love for wrestling, but when I guess like Matt threw the idea of out there of us like joining the business, you know, I was like, you know what, fuck it, why not? Like let's do it.
And you got started at the factory?
Yes, that was in 2015. We attended a 2-day like camp and then we went back I think a month or two later and then we started training there.
I think I met you guys there. But I wasn't there as much back then. I was there a lot more a couple years before that. And
Okay.
I kind of stopped going as often. But
Yeah, we were there in
I definitely
2015 when we joined.
met you there because of probably because of my friendship with Lucas. It's probably
Okay.
why I was there.
I think that was the first camp Lucas did as well.
Okay.
The first camp that we did was the first camp he did.
This room that I'm in right now, this used to be Lucas used to live in this house. This used to be his bedroom. This room that I'm recording this podcast in. Yeah. Yeah. It totally just
kicked him out. Yeah, you did.
No, he moved back in with his parents. That was his decision.
Okay.
That was totally his decision. But
why did he leave? I mean, I don't want to get into his business, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know he one of the jobs that he like put all his eggs into the basket that he was going to get, it fell through or something, and he was just, you know, financially burdened and decided to go back and live with his parents, and it would be easier for him financially.
Okay. I see him every now and then now. Last time I saw him, he had a match with Ryan Mooney at the factory. I thought it was pretty good. Twitch has been coming along, so it's good for him.
Last time I saw him was the last time I saw you when we did the Too Many Games convention.
Ah, okay.
That was
yeah, I saw him again after that. Okay. I saw him last month, actually. Yeah, we had the match. It was a 2 out of 3 falls, which I was surprised that they had there. But he did really good. I was really proud.
Yeah, man. I mean,
so Twitch, if you hear this and you're watching this, keep it up. All right. Good job.
Yeah, dude. I would have to say the same thing. Twitch, if you're watching this, I have to say, you've come a long way. You've come a long way. I met you when you were like a awkward 15-year-old kid, and now you're an awkward 22-year-old kid.
Yeah. Time flies, man. Time flies.
Yeah, for sure. But the awkwardness of it was very matching of my awkwardness, because my fandom of like stand-up comedy, my ability to like pull random quotes from movies and shit, like that's not very common. not a lot of other people are into the same exact stuff that I'm into. And the fact that I met somebody who happened to be a kid, but he was a wrestling. There was a I don't know if it still exists, but there was a show that would come on AM radio, wrestling show, Pro Wrestling Weekly. It would come on Saturdays, and it was hosted. Do you know who Eric Gargiulo is?
No.
Eric Gargiulo was Eric Gargiulo, and you know who Rob Feinstein is, right?
Nope. See, I told you, bro, I'm terrible.
Terrible. RF Video, Rob Feinstein, the guy who founded Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Okay. So
just learned something.
So Rob Feinstein founded Ring of Honor with Gabe Sapolsky in the very beginning. And Rob Feinstein and Eric Gargiulo, who was the commentator for CZW back in the day, they had a weekly pro wrestling talk show, and it was on AM radio. They used to record them at this Slacks Hoagie Shack in Ben Salem, and I would go to the live ones. I went to the one live one, and they had Tommy Dreamer was there and Francine was there.
Oh, shit. That's pretty cool.
But eventually Eric stepped down from it because it was Eric's show. He stepped down from it and he gave it to this guy, Ferran, my friend Ferran. And Ferran had Lucas as his intern hosting and hosting the radio show. And that's
talking about Ferran Burgundy?
Yes.
Yeah, I love Ferran. Ferran's my guy.
I forget that everybody else knows him too.
He was at the last factory show that I was at.
I think I sometimes
forget. Ferran did that first factory camp with me as well.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's rad, man. It's so funny to me that sometimes I have friends that people know who they are and they're somebody, or somebody's a famous or well-known person, and I'm like, yeah, they're just my friend. I don't.
I was gonna say something immediately, but I let you keep going a little bit longer to see where I was going. So once you mentioned Twitch, I'm like, okay, I know it's the Ferran that I know.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, Ferran's my guy.
That's awesome. So shout out to Ferran Burgundy as well.
Yeah, shout out.
But yeah, so only a couple more things, and then I'll send you off with a hot dog and a handshake right off into the sunset. All right. So
I'll split that hot dog with you, bro, because this was fun. It's like an hour has been passed, and it doesn't feel like an hour has passed.
For sure.
It's been a good time.
One more time. Want to make sure I say on the record, because obviously, okay, a couple of people who I've had on the podcast, they're not with us anymore. So on the record, I made it a point, even before when we first started doing the show, when I first started doing this, my mom had told me about these voicemails that she had saved from her mom and from her best friend. They left her voicemails and she got them burnt onto a CD. Okay. She got these voicemails burned onto a CD, and she said, you know how when someone's not with us anymore, you forget what their voice sounds like. And I was like, I don't ever want that. I don't really ever want that. So I want to make sure, while our voices are here and right now, I want to tell you how I truly feel. And I want to do that with everybody, whoever decides to give me, some of their effort. They decided to pay me with their attentions, their intention and their attention. So I'm so grateful to you. So thanks so much. And I'm super excited to see where you go next, because dude, you're really good. You have a really great head on your shoulders, and I see nothing but a world of potential for you.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And I'm actually glad that you're saying what you're saying, because I think that everyone needs to be like that. There's a lot of hate in this world, and man, if you can just take a moment out of your day to just be nice to someone, even if it's something simple like holding a door for the person behind you, even if you're at a gym, just saying hello to somebody,
Going back,
It might
going back.
it might mean nothing to you, but it might mean something like so much more to somebody else. Like we just need more of that, man.
So, like
And I appreciate you saying what you said.
when you said that thing about Planet Fitness earlier, and I was like, oh, it's nothing like that, because at this gym is the opposite of, like, when you walk down the straightway at Planet Fitness and you like catch eyes with somebody, they'll like turn down, like they don't want to look at you.
Yeah,
But at this gym,
yeah,
you say hi to everybody, everybody says hi back. Everyone's got a smile on their
yeah,
face. That's
yeah.
why I love this place.
Yeah, that's why like I try to make like I make it a habit. Like if I do make eye contact with somebody, I try to like at least give them like the head nod, you know, like kind of like, yo, like what's
Mhm,
up, man? Like how's it going? How
mhm.
are you? You
Yeah.
know, just so that it's not awkward, you know. Or, you know.
Do you have any other questions for me?
What do you got? Like what you have like any 2022 goals?
Um, I don't really ever do that as much. I I was just thinking about some the other day, and I feel like mostly I want to stay flexible, to ever changing things. So when I talk about when I was a kid, growing up as a kid, all I ever wanted to do was be a pro wrestler or be a stand-up comedian. Right? I didn't know I wanted to be a podcaster because that didn't exist yet. So in 2022,
Mm,
I hope that I discover more things that don't exist yet, or I create things that don't exist yet, that I can decide that that's going to be somebody else who looks at me and goes, I want to do that with my life. And
yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
2022.
think I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish your thought and then
Oh, I was just
I'll
saying
jump in.
2022 seems more of a year in which I will be closer to finding whatever that thing that doesn't exist and making it exist.
Okay. Uh like what I was gonna say was I think for me, like all I've ever wanted, like I never wanted to be like a great this, a great that, even though like for like like you said, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like, you know, I've been able to do a lot of things. But all I've ever wanted to do was just like I guess just be a role model for people, be an inspiration because I've told you earlier, like you know, I've had great parents who were able to like provide for me and my siblings, but we were born like in a like not so great area. So like I never like to brag. Like I don't brag like, oh, I came from a good area because I wasn't born in a good area. So I just want to show people that it is possible to like become something no matter despite like your upbringing, despite whatever, you know, troubles you may go through, whatever, like you can do whatever it is that you want to like do in life. Like anything is possible. And I just want to be like proof of that, you know?
Well, I think that kind of rings the humility bell really loud, because in a lot of it, you're kind of you're mentioning a bunch like you don't want to brag, but really like you do. You've come a long way. You deserve a little bit of flowers. You give yourself some flowers. Like you're killing it, dude. You're
Yeah,
doing.
no, but I like
What
to
would
let my
your
work speak for itself,
right
you know?
right? So yeah, continue to do that. Continue to do that. Tell the world what you're going to do. Show them first. Is something I like to
Exactly.
say.
Yeah. That's why I like to keep my mouth shut and just work, man, because I hate it when people like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, post it on social media, like I'm doing this, doing that, and then nothing ever happens. Like, yo,
Oh,
just work first and then let the work speak for itself, you know?
oh, well, I can't tell you the year. I don't remember it, but Tom Brady, the Patriot, uh,
Uh-huh.
he had this show that was like in Willow Grove, and he had Terry Taylor. He had Terry Taylor come, and it was like a TNA tryout. It was a show where it's like everybody who was on the show paid money, like it was a seminar to do this tryout. But like it was just, you know, it was just it wasn't. Everybody who did it was paying the same money to do it. The same as a Jared Briscoe seminar. The same sort of shit. And
Yeah,
like
yeah,
people,
gotcha.
I saw somebody else posting about it. It was like somebody else posting about it. They're like, "Oh, got my TNA tryout today," and everybody's comments below were like, "You deserve it. Oh, you deserve it." And I was like, "Hey, I was thinking, and I would never post it, but I was like, "You've got the same $500 everybody else here has." Just just show up, clock in, make impressions, make memories, and go. You don't gotta
Yeah,
you gotta declare anything.
right.
Declaring shit is the worst. I I
Yeah,
I say it pretty often. Like if I were to tell you, if I were to say, "Hey, buddy, I'm the smartest and most funniest person you'll ever meet," and let's say we talk for an hour and 5 minutes, and I've said nothing that's made you laugh, and nothing I've said has been funny. I'm
right,
not only am I unfunny and not smart, but I'm a liar too. So I would
right.
just rather be who I am than tell you who I am.
Right. It's like you're bragging with no bragging rights, you
Right?
know?
Yeah. Mhm. You're. I think they have a saying in AA where they say expectations are resentments yet to come.
Okay. I like
So
that.
if I go, oh, my expectation is all this, all that, all this, all that, and I tell everybody that that's what's going to happen, and it doesn't happen, I'm angry about all the things that I can blame for it, and never myself for declaring it.
Right. But I can't like lie and say here that I haven't gone through that because we're all human and I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
we've all thought that way,
Mhm.
felt that way,
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that
you
you
know.
have the maturity, the ability
Right.
to take accountability for the fact that you've been that. Who who I've
Hmm.
been, who I've been my whole life has never been who I am right here and right now. I'm gonna continue to be a different version every single day. Ideally, until I am not here no more.
Right. Life happens, man, and life's gonna throw whatever it wants your way. And you may not have any control of that, but what you do have control over is how you react to whatever is happening. So
Life is
you
life is 10% of or what is it? 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of how you react to it.
right, exactly. So
It's
at
just
the end of the day, you're the reason why you are where you are,
that's perfect. That's a great bullseye. So so speaking about on the record stuff, and also I was talking to you about the future and potential, and you're not limited by anything. I think that you'll go as far as you think you deserve to go, and I say that to say that I have a segment on the show that I call audio time travel. Right, so
Okay.
this stuff is outliving us. This stuff, this recording is outliving us. So in let's say 20 years, somebody who loves you so dearly stumbles across this recording and decides to listen to it to see what their beloved, what their favorite person was up to in this time and place. You're speaking directly to that person who's decided who loves you and has decided to tune in to this show to find out what kind of message you'd give that person. You're speaking directly to them right now.
All I'm gonna say is just keep your head up, keep working, believe in yourself, and just I don't know, just stay hungry, man. Just be open to anything and everything. Just get after it. That's it. Just get after it. Be happy, have fun. Don't take life too serious, you know.
Gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude, gratuity, young grasshopper.
I dated a girl who I guess when the bill came, like we had a pretty big party, and the bill came, and she looked at it and she was like, "Oh, look, they didn't add gratuity." And I was like, "Has no one ever corrected you? No one's ever corrected you. Anytime you've ever said that word, have you been saying that word for your
Maybe
whole
she
life?"
never has said it, and that was the first time she said it.
Maybe the first time she had ever said it out loud. But gratuity is now going to be a word I use for the rest of my life.
Gratitude. I can't even say it.
But
But yeah, man, all in all, yeah, just be grateful and good things will happen. Because if you're not happy, then you'll never be happy. You know, just be happy with what you got and you'll always have what you want.
that's great. Be
For
happy with.
shizzle.
Say that quote for me one more time. Be happy with what you got.
Be
And you'll
happy
always get what
with
you want.
what you got. Right. And you'll always get what you want.
All right.
Or you'll always have what you want. Yeah.
All right. I love that. So the way
I'm
we wrap
gonna
up,
trademark that.
okay. The way we wrap every episode is I'll say hypothetically I've gifted you this show. Okay, so this recording that we've just done has been hypothetically the pilot episode to your new podcast, Evolving with Adrien Soriano.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Okay. So in a very Jerry Springer's final thought type of way, highlight the takeaways and wrap it up in a nice, pretty little bow like Jerry Springer would do. I get it. Jerry Springer is an old reference, and most people won't get that. But that's if you could do that, just to kind of put a pretty little bow on what this conversation's meant.
I mean, it meant the world because this was fun. You know, just us taking a trip inside of our own heads, each other heads, seeing where we're at, and just exploring, man. So this was great. I'm gonna plug some stuff in if you don't mind.
Do
if
it.
you
Go
guys
ahead.
are on If you guys are on Instagram, you can follow me at Soriano_saga. Same handle for Twitter. If I'm also part of the trio known as Primal Fear. I'm representing right now with myself, Gabriel Hodder, Matthew Oman. You can purchase any merchandise from ProWrestlingTees.com/True Primal Fear. We have an email that you can reach out to, trueprimalfear@gmail.com. I think that's all for right now. Yeah, follow us on social media. Keep updated with what we got going on. We will be at PPW this Saturday, taking on a team of South Philly's finest and Sam Adams in 6-man tag team action. So that should be fun. Looking forward to see everyone there. Yeah, I think that's it, man. This was a pleasure. It was an absolute blast, and I'm looking forward to doing this again. For sure.
Do you do any impressions? Are you famous for any impressions?
I am not. No. No. Why? What you got?
No, none. I don't have any. But
no?
I like to ask. I like to ask folks what their best impressions are, and I'll have them say the tagline that sends us home in their impression. So
yeah, not me, man. I'm sorry to disappoint.
So I definitely want to do follow-ups. I want to do follow-ups. I want to do one with Matt and I want to do one with Gabe. And we'll make this part 1 of the Primal Fear series, or the Primal Furies.
The Primal Furies.
Thanks so much for doing this. I want to make sure I say to you on the record, make sure we don't forget to say this. If you ever feel like there's a point where you just you need a friend, you just need somebody to talk to, if you got questions, if you got anything going on, never hesitate to call me, dude. Never hesitate to reach out to me. We've got that level of we're cool that you can ask me anything. Judgment. I
appreciate
free.
that, man.
Judgment free. I'm never gonna ever judge you. I'll never shame you. I'll never minimalize you. I absolutely am here for you, and I have got all the space in the world for you.
I appreciate that, because I feel as though I've always had that with you. I feel as though I can always go up to you and speak my mind, because I feel like you would listen to me. And same with you, man. Like I respect you and I appreciate you, and thank you for giving me the time today, man. It was fun. It was awesome.
That's a blast. That's a blast to know. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you like it.
Adios.
Maybe comment in the back or the bottom. I don't know how that works. I'm not good at the whole like calls to action. I'm just gonna be as sincere as possible. I love you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for the currency of your effort. Be fun. Have safe. Keep evolving.
Hell yeah, brother.